What's up, bro?
How you doing, man? You good?
Good, man.
Thanks so much for doing. I'm here.
Yeah, we set up here.
The first and possibly only ever at the COPA90 final.
So how does a kid from Australia end up working at one of the most influential football media companies in the world at COPA90?
I think it's a combination of factors. I think it's definitely the fact that I'm an extrovert and I've never really been uncomfortable in front of a camera. I think it's also the fact that I'm very obsessional and passionate about anything I get into. It's not just football. It's the case of like growing up in Australia. It's a place where you feel like anything's possible if you put your mind to it. There's a lot of places where you can't do that, where there's certain like structures and class and places that don't allow you to make it to where you should. But I think Australia is the kind of place, at least growing up where I did, where it felt like, yeah, why not?
And football was always your love?
No, so I'm from Melbourne originally, born and raised in AFL, Richmond Tigers boy. My mum was a member, my uncle, my cousins are members, my granddad was a member. I was also very naughty at school, so I got suspended a lot. Mum and dad worked, so my granddad would take me and he'd just spoil me and take me to Punt Road where I'd watch Richo and Kellaway and Rory Hilton, and I can't remember the rest of them now. It's 20 years ago.
Maybe a Giants fan after today.
Yeah, exactly. No, now I'm St Kilda because I feel you guys haven't won a granny yet, have you?
No, not yet.
You made a granny.
Yeah, we made one.
Did we beat you? Which one beat you?
Did, yeah.
Not we. That's my family thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apologies for that. That's why I stopped going for them.
Yeah.
I felt bad for you. No. Then moved to Brisbane in 2001 before the three-peat for the Lions, and AFL didn't exist. Rugby union was big at the school I went to. That wasn't for me. And the couple of the ethnic kids in the corner were like, "Come play soccer with us," and I was like, "Oh, really?" But they were the kids I always say who wore the cool clothes on casual day. And I was like, well, if you're cool and you like soccer, I'll give it a go. That was 2001, early 2002. Next thing you know, Japan Korea World Cup comes. Because of the time zones in Asia, it's on at 5 p.m. and my whole world exploded, and everything I loved about every other sport was like that on steroids for football. And then never looked back, and then the media world came, everything moved to the internet. I was an internet child, I guess, and then I just combined my love of football and celebrations and culture with making media online, and next thing I know, I've been to 100 countries in 12 years, and hopefully it's not going to stop anytime soon.
So we've got a lot of mutual friends, and they tell me about how you got the COPA90 job initially.
I try to avoid that.
No, I think there's before you I think there's some really important lessons for everyone, kids especially, but for everyone around. If I know the right story, so you tell the story.
Is it about the audition?
Yeah.
So, so COPA90 were looking for a new presenter for the 2013 Confederations Cup, which is like the warm-up tournament to the Brazil World Cup. So I said, I want to make a video because I made a video for a similar competition 3 years earlier and lost. And when I lost that one, that was for the 2010 World Cup with SBS and Green and Gold Army, I was like, I'll never lose another competition. Yeah. This is what I'm meant to do. My brother talks about how I was shaking because I was like, this is my job, this is my opportunity. I know I'm gonna get it. And I basically quit uni. Well, I didn't quit uni, but I dropped out of the courses because I only had 8 days to make it. I told work I can't work anymore, and they were like, "You kidding? You're fired then." And I extended my credit card, my debt on my credit card. I wouldn't recommend that unless you're sure. But long story short, I made this video that was like 24 hours in the life of a football fan in Australia, waking up at 3 a.m. and just living it from the early mornings and then into the day and then into the night. And that won me the competition. I got to go to Brazil for the Confederations Cup for 5 weeks, and that went so well. They said, "Do you want a full-time job?" And that was May 2013.
So in a way, you manifested the job before it came to fruition for yourself, but also nowadays, like you see a lot of YouTube content creators and see the hustle that goes on behind the camera. You were doing this from a completely young age before you even got to the level where you are now.
I was doing, but I think the crazy thing is I wasn't actually, I talk about being online. I'm a very much a traditionalist. I still read the newspaper. I subscribe to about 6 different newspapers. I'm old school. I still like TV. I've been back to Australia for a few weeks. I still turn on Sunrise. Maybe it's because of nostalgia. I don't know. But I actually didn't know that much about the YouTube world. I didn't even know what COPA90 was. I knew Twitter because Twitter allowed all football fans in Oz to congregate together because it's not as mainstream as the other sports. But a crazy thing that I can always talk about now is that there were 3 finalists. I don't think I've actually spoken about this, but we were in the final 3, and it was whoever got the most views. And COPA90 had already decided they wanted me to win because you can say that my video was the best video. I was the only one who, I didn't say I have a team or a player or a club I love or anything. I just love the fans and the anthropological side of the game.
Flat white?
Flat white.
And a long black?
Long back
Thank
to me.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
They had actually got KSI, here's the exclusive, they got KSI to, this is back in the day when you liked a video, it would come out as a tweet, and they got KSI to like my video to get more people to watch my video.
Yeah.
Because it was whoever got the most views, not likes. So by him liking my video, it meant everyone went and watched my video. And my friend messaged me saying, you better go thank KSI. And this is how crazy it was. This is 2013, I was like, what's a KSI? I didn't know, I had no idea about I knew nothing about the YouTube world. I was still, football for me was through SBS, Twitter.
Did you get to thank KSI quickly after?
You know what, I've met him before, I should thank him. Yeah, I've worked, KSI worked for COPA90, he had a show, it wasn't how he started, but it was very much a big stepping stone in his career, was his road to Wembley, and he had a university show. 2013 was a different time. COPA90 was very different. They weren't fan orientated. They were more like fun and entertainment. I was the one who came in and said, and if you watch my audition video, you really want to watch it. It's called Best Job in the World.
Is this the one you start in your bedroom?
Yeah, starting in bedroom.
No, I love it. Actually, it's
15
great
kilos lighter. I'm completely shaved. I sound way more Aussie. It's a different world. I've thought about trying to take it down so that no one can find it. But then you kind of got to own the old you. So there's about 40 extras, and I couldn't pay anyone. But on my credit card, I could get like bucket loads of KFC and beers.
Yeah.
And the only mistake I would make, if you make a production and you buy beers, don't let people drink till after the wraps. So that shoot you see where I come out of the house and everyone's ripping flares and having fun, I stupidly opened the beers beforehand and everyone got drunk, and then trying to like keep everyone organized was yeah, that was one thing. I remember being on the veranda being like, guys, please, we're here for me. And they'd already gone, they'd eaten and drank. Yeah.
What's one coffee that's changed your life?
One coffee that changed my life. I've had things I've drank so many I probably couldn't remember. So I don't think I could put a coffee down, but I would just say the role of coffee in my life. I work crazy hours, so I edit my films. And so I drink so much coffee that the restaurant near my flat in London, they would keep the coffee machine open for me because they knew I'd come down around 9:30, 10:30 at night and take one or maybe even two coffees home.
Yeah.
You know, we go on all these shoots around the world, and there's certain things I'm fussy about and not fussy about.
Yeah.
I don't care where we stay. If we've got a crew and we've only got a couch left over, I'll take the couch.
Yeah.
I don't really care about where I sit on the plane, no matter how long it is. But the one thing alongside food that it's like forceful is in the morning, I have to have a good coffee.
Yeah.
I can't drink coffee at a chain. I can't drink a burnt coffee. It will ruin my day, so.
Yeah. Verdict?
Oh, fantastic. There's listen, one thing you need to understand, every Aussie, coffee, there is no better place on earth where you'll get such a consistently good coffee as Australia. Like in London, it exists, but it's like you got to know the places.
Yeah. I want to talk about your work a little bit though.
Okay.
At COPA90 in particular.
Okay.
Derby days, once in a lifetime, particularly the Argentina one. But I want to start with Derby days first because before I intro you into it, one of my favourite episode, is the Portsmouth one. Okay.
Of all the episodes, okay.
Okay. Because I'm actually a Pompey supporter. Juventus is my true love.
Yeah.
But my mum was born in the UK. She wasn't born in Portsmouth, but quickly her family moved to Portsmouth. And now all my relatives live in Portsmouth and are die-hard Pompey supporters. So when I'm getting messages from my cousins over in the UK saying this guy from Australia has made a documentary on COPA90 about Portsmouth Football Club.
That is
it was fascinating. I loved it. It's still my favourite episode.
Oh man, I'm glad. It's funny, Portsmouth. Firstly, I mean, what a club! Like genuinely, what a club. For good and bad reasons. Like it's one of the most terrifying fan bases I've ever met, but also one of the most passionate. The main interviewer from that is when I actually became one of my best friends, Eugene. He now works for COPA90. The funny story about that is that was off the back of, so that was 2019. It had been a year since we had made another Derby Days because the Derby Days we'd done before that was the Super Classico one. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah.
After we did that, I was like, it's done. I can't beat the Super Classico, Boca River, Copa Libertadores final.
Yeah.
The game that never finished really, like it moved to Madrid, but we didn't count that as a real game. We were there for 3 weeks. It was the first episode that was an hour long. We weren't really going to follow it up, but work had said, like, have you thought about doing another series? And I just kept saying, it'd have to be something so epic. And we actually we made a little lineup. It was actually meant to be Gremio versus Internacional. They were going to meet in the Copa Libertadores semi-final. One of the teams lost on pens, and the next thing you know, my phone starts lighting up one night with random people. I don't even know how they got my number. Pompey and Saints fans saying, we're playing for the first time in, I think it was 14 years, if I can remember. You got to do it. And I was thinking, Pompey's.
Yeah,
I'm not following that up.
I was wondering how and why it came about.
It was just a lot of random people who I knew in the football scene were messaging me saying, you don't understand how big this is. And I had this book called, by one of the great football journalists, Andy Mitten, I think it's called Mad for It. And it's all about derbies and rivalries. And I had this book sitting on the desk and I looked at it and I was like, if Pompey Saints is in here, I'll do it. And I opened the book just randomly and it was the opening page of Pompey Saints. And I went to my boss, it's a sign, we're doing it. And I'm so glad we did, because that was what the most popular ever derby days is. Boca River.
Yep.
That's what followed it up, and I was so scared we were going to get killed for it. Everyone said it's the perfect one because it was genuine, ferocious. Both sets of supporters are mad, but Pompey is special. I think even Saints would admit, like, Pompey fans are on another level. So whenever you're there, you went to games?
Yeah, I've been to Fratton Park many a time, many a nights where there's been 1,000 people there, or Boxing Day a few years ago, and I was literally sitting on the corner flag was right in front of me, and the whole stadium, you could call it stadium. The whole park is covered by a roof except for this one spot, and we were getting rained on for 90 minutes, and now on the 89th we got a penalty, scored one.
Did you go with your mum? Because she got you into it?
My mum didn't. So that was with my two brothers, my dad, and my uncle, and my cousins, my little cousins as well. So there was a fair few of us there. It was a boys' trip on Boxing Day. It was
oh, wonderful! So it's freezing cold.
I'm talking, if it was 1 or 2 degrees, maybe.
Ronaldinho played at Fratton Park. It's still to this day the craziest. I can't get my head around
Favourite all-time player, Nico Crankjar.
Yeah. Was Harry there when he bought him there?
Yeah.
You've got a Crankjar kit?
I've got it. I was saying
You're kidding.
I should have bought it.
How old were you when you first went to Fratton Park?
I would have been, 2000. I was probably 10 or 11.
Oh man!
So traveling the world, shooting documentaries about the best derbies in football would probably be anyone's dream job.
Yes.
But talking about dreams, the Argentina playing France in a World Cup final. It's a dream documentary to be made. Why didn't you go to Qatar for the final?
So look, again, there's so many reasons. I explained at this other doc. I was never interested in going to Qatar. I was lucky enough to go to Brazil. It was the best month of my life. Russia, the third best month in my life, and in between was Paris 2016 Euros, second best month of my life. Those 3 tournaments were just so amazing for the time of my life. All my mates were at them. By 2022, I was 32. I was at the age where a lot of mates didn't come. Qatar had some good reasons, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I had said from the day 2018 ended, 2022 World Cup is going to be the first ever in a Northern Hemisphere winter.
Yep.
I have no interest in doing a Northern Hemisphere winter. I want to do a Southern Hemisphere summer. And there's one of 2 places I want to be. Australia for our first ever Summer World Cup, or Argentina because they're going to win it. Yep. I just had a feeling. I ended up getting to do both because I worked for SBS, which was like my dream. They are the network that made me fall in love with the game and so many other things.
Yep.
So I did the group stages as a reporter for Australia's games, and then we had that insane run where we made it to the round of 16, where we played Argentina. And so it worked, and then that's when I said I basically said to my company, I have to do this for SBS. It's like it's a rite of passage for me as a football fan from this country. But as second Australia's out, I'll head to Argentina. Little did I know that we'd meet each other at the round of 16. Yeah. So at that point, whoever won, I was either gonna stay in Australia or I was gonna go to Argentina. Obviously Argentina won, and there we headed. So my proudest thing about that is it's not that we were there for the final, because that's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
We were there from the quarters.
Yeah.
Had I not got the SBS job, I would have been there from the whole tournament. Yeah. But it's a dream job. What people should understand behind the scenes is that was one of the most stressful months of our life.
Like, I can imagine.
Trying to document that country, and you see what happens.
I've been to Argentina.
You've been to Argentina
before, watched football there. But
yeah, which stadium?
I went to River Plate game.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, okay.
Boca didn't play back when we were there, but I could sort of understand. You obviously go into way more depth of the passion and love they have for the game.
It's trying to capture that and not, get killed. Is literally a challenge. And so, look, it is what it is. It was the dream job. The fact that they won, the fact that it was just such again, once in a lifetime Argentina. I feel like words can't describe it. You have to see it, and you're seeing it live, what happened. There was a night before the final against France, where I turned to my right-hand man, my DOP, one of my best mates. We were in La Boca, we'd been filming around there. The next game was the final. I just turned to him. I didn't have to say anything, I started crying.
Yeah.
It was like, this is gonna happen. Like, the quarters, when they survived that, Netherlands collapsed in the penalties, and the Croatia domination, this is a moment where I realized this is happening, and we are the only people on earth who have been here, again, not just for the final where it's easy, where it's like, we have ridden this 3-week wave with them, so. And
it took you 2 years to
It took me 2 years. The first year is complicated, I can't go into too much, but politics and promises and non-kept promises and just issues meant we didn't actually start it till the next year because we were hoping to get it to a bigger platform. And we're talking about journeys, there was a realization that I was gonna have to do it myself. Like it wasn't gonna get made if I didn't roll up my sleeves. And as angry as I was that I wasn't meant to be the one editing it, I realized, you know what? Like if you believe in this, whatever work you put in, you'll get out. And like for a year, I did not stop editing that. And as most people say, it's one of the greatest football docs of all time. I like to think so as well. And so I get to put my name to that. So you know what? That's the advice I always give everyone when you talk about journeys. It's like, sometimes even if it's unjust and unfair, if you really believe in it, you just gotta roll up your sleeves and go, I'm doing this myself.
Yeah, I think that's a really important message. A couple of things I want to say on Once in a Lifetime Argentina, because I just wanted to tell you. First is thank you. One of my favorite things to do is watch documentaries.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be sport related, but I love football documentaries. I've seen they are a couple of my favorites, like the original Next Goal Wins. Any of the new ones that they do, particularly on Prime now, whatever it is. I love watching anything, but Once in a Lifetime Argentina for me would have to be. I'm not just saying this because you're here. Would probably be my favorite football documentary ever. I
got so inundated with messages. I remember when you messaged me saying how much you loved it. If you don't like, what was it about it that, like, for you?
Bro, to be honest, I went through a real hard in my career, in my life. I went through a real tough month. We lost in a semi-final. In that same game, I had my whole left side of my face smashed, and so I had to wait a week to get that surgery. The surgery rocked me to my core. So I had my whole left side. It was about 5.5 hour surgery, and then had to wait 3 weeks till that all calmed down until I got my shoulder surgery, and then so I had my shoulder done. I was coming out of that, and then right before we went back to training, I found out that my daughter's 1 at this time. My daughter had to have a massive bowel operation. So one. So she had just recovered from that. And I remember one of the nights you just released it, I think around about Christmas time. Almost 2 years.
December 18, we did it on the day.
December 18, almost to the day. And I remember, one of those nights where you get the TV to yourself, and I watched 4 back to back.
Oh, you watched them all back to back? All 2.5 hours?
I had to, man. I was like, once I started, I couldn't stop. I remember just afterwards, my wife walking in, I was literally crying. I was like, you get the people that understand football. It doesn't matter who you support. And I'm not a Messi or Ronaldo. I love Ronaldo. Like,
exactly,
but it's more than that. Especially the fact that I've been to Argentina. But what you told, the story that you told, was just the best football documentary that I've ever seen. So I wanted to say thank you, bro.
I'm touched. Listen, even to hear that, like, that's the thing. That's why I ask people, why did it mean so much to them? Because it's like, I don't even know that back. I mean, I'm touched that I could like offer that reprieve, that distraction from what you're going through.
Yeah. But what about football in Australia? Let's talk about that for a minute. Obviously, Socceroos, Matildas. Obviously, you always give back to a country that, as you said, it's given you so much. But where do you see football in the landscape at the moment?
I think I've come to this point where I've realised that football in Australia is just going to be a never-ending roller coaster of ups and downs. And instead of like trying to take on, like being like, in this exact moment, it's the best thing or it's the worst thing, it's just pointless, because the A-League's got its struggles, the Socceroos, it's definitely not the best squad of all time. We've got all kind of political issues, but then at the same time, the men have made 6 World Cups. The Matildas are now the biggest brand in sport in Australia, the most sold kit, they're the most watched thing in the history of the country. We've got a Socceroos squad who have qualified with majority A-League players. I think everyone but one has played in the A-League. We've got things like Ange Postecoglou, who's started in the NSL, gone to the A-League, then gone to all 3 kind of like platforms of Australian football, has won the Europa League. We've got things like, I even say like Jared Gillette, he's the coach he's a referee at the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like that guy started at the A-League. There's so many things that we just forget. Joey Montemurro, who's now come back to coach.
Yeah, he's going to coach
the but like he was at Juve Women's. He's probably one of the most respected women's coaches. It's like that we have so many things that we forget. That if you go back to the 90s, when the game was truly on and off the pitch, really struggling. Like it was just we're almost so spoiled that 6 World Cups in a row is just like, hey, great, that's where we're meant to be. But we're not meant. It used to be like, fall on your knees and pray to the gods that we make one, and now we've made 6 in a row. So I try and see it as take everything, and there's definitely a lot that the game can improve on. But overall, what's nice is I feel like the game is now like at least it's not the biggest. It doesn't have to be the biggest, but it's like there's a respect now to football where people start to realize like, oh, this really does put us on a platform. And also, I think Ange is actually the more I think about it, I think Aussies have realized like, yo, we actually can compete at the top. It's high, it's low, it's always going to be this shift in sand. It's never going to be stable enough just to be great or just to be bad. I mean, we always talk about like the Matildas, right? Or what I always think about is like the Socceroos making the under-16. The ratings were through the roof. The scenes at Fed Square in that summer were crazy. The A-League numbers were up, and then 1 week later, we had the grand final announcement, which the fans hated, and then the reaction to that was the horrible Melbourne derby that happened, and it was like this, and then it was like this.
Yeah.
Ange wins the Europa League, and Aussie has won a European trophy. No one outside of Australia or South America has done that. Ange is fired. Actually, someone said it to me, it's like, it's never as good as it seems, and it's never as bad as it seems. Yeah.
I'm after your 3 1%ers, your 3 non-negotiables, your 3 things that you live by every day, the things that make you successful and the person that you are.
Ooh, that's good. Okay, 3 1%ers. In regards to me and what I do, okay. The one is like research. I got to know everything. Yeah. Like often people don't realize this, but I know more than even the person I'm interviewing. Yeah. I just kind of play up to it, or I'll feed them stuff that maybe they don't even know. That's really important for me, because the reality is I try and tell these people, I'm not very talented. I'm not a great presenter. I'm a good storyteller about getting their information and their answers, but I don't know enough, but I just need to make sure I give them as much as possible. So that's always the first one. You don't realize it, but details makes. I love it when people tell me like, I love this shot you did, and I'm like, you have no idea how many times I got it right. So details are really, really important one. I mean, I think it's people. It's finding people who care and who are authentic, and not just like finding real people that and getting the best out of them. It's something I'm still trying to work out myself, but it's like, it's when I'm interviewing someone I realize, oh, you know what, this person doesn't care as much, let's move on. Even if it's like an interview we've organized, it's like, you know what, if that's not the right person for the job, move on to the next one. It's about finding the people who get what you're doing, and those people lead you to other people that are similar. So I think they're my 3 1%ers that I have to find on a shoot.
Yeah, research, detail, people.
People,
I like it. Love it. All right, I've got some quick hits for you.
Okay, let's do it.
For someone who's never seen your work or doesn't watch football, your 3 best football experiences.
Experiences. So not documentary, experiences. Oh, wow. I mean, the Brisbane Royal Grand Final in 2011, to this day, 2-0. They hadn't lost the game all season, and they 2-0 down in the Grand Final with 2 minutes to go in extra time.
Yep.
I brought this up on basically the Argentina documentary. Izzy, the Sinister guy. So I know him because he was a waiter with me in Brisbane at that restaurant. No.
Didn't you meet Ange at the restaurant as well?
Yeah, Ange, all the Raw Boys, all the restaurant is where everything happens. Even though he loves to like shit on Australia and Australian football, even he is like, you know what kills me the most is the best atmosphere I've ever heard at Grand Final at Suncorp Stadium. It was
really.
I implore anyone to YouTube it. The noise. Yeah. Imagine you go undefeated. Any other football league besides the MLS, you don't have playoffs, but we have playoffs because it's Australia. And then you're losing 2-0 to this team. You've got 54,000 people in there. You're down 2-0, it's over. And then you score 2 goals in 2 minutes and win on pens. But that second goal, that Pardew header. Yeah. I remember I was like struggling to breathe, and I'm not even a Raw fan, but it was like, it's like everyone had sucked the oxygen out. So that's Raw. Number 1. Yeah. Number 2 has got to be, it's got to be Boca River being pitch side. Yeah, when I walked out and people are banging on the glass wall so people don't go onto the pitch. The Bombonera, it was like I was on the Coliseum, like in Gladiator. Like people just, that's got to be number 2. Uruguay, Australia for me was like, I just collapsed. Like Messi, and just like, And I hadn't even gone through the years of hurt. I just was still new to football relatively. But it was 32 years of, I didn't even know that hurt, but to wait 32 years for anything, especially when you only got a chance at every 4 means, and it came down to penalty kicks. It was like Johnny Warren being screamed by Craig Foster and the whole country. I think I'd have to say Australia, Uruguay will still feel this every day. It was the moment I realised how special this game was and how emotional it can make it.
So everyone usually says dream five-a-side team players-wise, but I'm not going to ask you that.
Okay.
I want to ask you fan bases. Choose me your five-a-side team.
The best 5 fan bases I've come across.
5 that you've come across.
That's a fantastic question. I'm going to start with Pompey.
Thank
I'm
you,
not just saying that. I'm not just saying that. They are something else. Truly, like, I feel like if they were in the 10th division, they'd still just set up the stadium. They are just so dedicated, almost to a fault. Like, it's like, guys, it's... So I'm going to go Pompey. Number 2, it's got to be Boca. Like, it's just not... not all for good reasons. It can be overbearing. Sometimes I'm just like, shut up, man. I get it. You love them. Like, but Boca fans are just something else. And also because of their stadium.
Yeah.
River, to be fair, they've renovated it since, but when I've ever gone there, it was a circular stadium. You lose something to that.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
Okay, where else would I go? Okay, let me think.
So that's 2.
Oh, Saint Etienne.
Okay.
Unbelievable. If you know your history in football, the Green Magic, I think they called Levert. Saint Etienne were essentially the team of the 70s and 80s. And they made the European Cup final, Champions League final, hit the post famously. Back then, when football was like unique everywhere, the final was in Hampton Park, and they, instead of having cylinder goalposts, they had square goalposts. So they hit the goalpost, and instead of it going down and in, it went across. And like people like have that cross.
Serious?
Yeah, someone found the goalpost like 40 years later. The goalposts were in like a pub somewhere, and they brought them and like they're in the museum. Like they sing songs about this goalpost basically being. That's why I love football. It's like people still romanticize losing as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But they've got this thing. Look up a Saint Etienne goal or just highlight Saint Etienne. Whenever they score, they do a thing similar to the Avalanche in Boca, where everyone runs to the front and it's just bodies just.
Yeah.
And they're more often in the 2nd division than the 1st these days. But I love Saint Etienne. So Saint Etienne. I'm going to do another French club, Lens. I'm just going to pick the places that I like. Lens is a part of northern France. It's like, we consider France and maybe you could either consider Paris or the Riviera nice. Lens are like considered the ugly city, full of ugly people. They play ugly football, but they're really proud of it. I think the biggest ever French comedy in history is a movie called Bienvenue le Ch'ti, Welcome to Le Ch'ti. And Le Ch'ti is the part where Lens are from. It's like, it's the place that's laughed about in France. It's cold, it's grey, it's ugly, but they love football. And then, if I had to do one more, the Argentinians. They travel more than anyone. They care more than anyone. It's a country where economically they're really struggling. They're the biggest supported team. I would say Argentina.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. Yeah.
So Portsmouth, which I'm really happy about. Boca, Saint Etienne, Lens,
and Argentina.
Wow,
what a random collection. Okay.
What's your dream documentary? You got one to make. Dream documentary to make.
About anything.
Yeah.
I think for me, my dream documentary was Argentina. Like that was the moment that everything happened. I think I've done it. I think I've done my dream documentary.
I like that answer. One Football Australia headline you'd love to see in the next 5 years?
I would like to see so many headlines in Australia, but I think when I really think of headlines, for me, the biggest issue in Australia with football, what we struggle with, which America are doing so well, is soccer-specific stadiums, SSS. They're like that's what's helped grow the MLS. We need stadiums that hold 10,000 where 8,000 is packed out. We don't need to be a big, massive league. We need to be a niche league. It's what makes us special. It's why Adelaide United, every A-League fan will say Adelaide United have the best stadium in the A-League. It's not the biggest, it's the best. So I would love, Adelaide's good, Perth's good. They need to fill it more. Melbourne's good. Sydney, I'd love a smaller one. Wanderers, good for the most part, but the place that I want to see is that Brisbane need their own stadium, and I want to see that headline saying the government, it's a major city, the government is helping us build a small stadium at Perry Park. That's what I want to see.
The biggest free kick someone's given to you, so the best bit of advice someone's given to you?
There's a quote my friend gave me that's always led to I like to think, I'm a big believer in karma. My friend told me this quote, which is, every dollar you spend, you're contributing to what you want to see. So all my life, when I've believed in something, even if I'm like, oh, can I afford it? I bought it. Like magazines, I believe in magazines, so I still buy magazines. When I go to an A-League game, I always buy tickets because I'm like, I'm contributing or NPL game or whatever. I don't want a freebie. I want to go when I can.
Yeah.
And I like to think that that's kind of like being paid forward.
Yeah.
And it's by buying those magazines or by buying those tickets or by buying a movie ticket to a football documentary. I feel like that's something. It always stuck with me, and it always kind of kept me dedicated to my cause.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a quote I've always. And it doesn't have to be football. It can be anything. It's like if you believe in something. The reality is we live in a capitalist world, and if you put your money towards it, you're creating an industry, and if everyone did that, oh my God, there'd be so many more jobs for the things we love. So that's something I believe in. If you, I meet so many people who's like, I want to work as a journalist, and I go, do you subscribe to any magazines or newspapers? No. When I was making minimum wage at the restaurant, one time the boss, there was two bosses, one was a chef, I was in the back reading the 442, $24.
I used to get them before get on the plane.
Yeah, and he was like, why, am I paying you to read magazines? Like, you spend all your money on that? And I was like, that's what I believe in. And now I've worked with 442, so that's probably the best advice.
What about the biggest free kick you give to someone else?
Just work as hard as the next person.
Yeah.
A little bit, one fraction harder, and chances are you'll end up in the job. Like, I've met so many people who don't have the talent of other people, but just have the application. Yeah. And again, it's about rolling up your sleeves. And sometimes you'll be like, it's not fair, why do I have to? But that's just the way of the world. The world's not fair. And chances are, if you are, be your own harshest critic. Don't be like, I tried my best today. If you're really honest with yourself, the amount of nights I've had where I've thought, I've done enough, and I've thought, no, look more into the footage, see if you can play around with something, and I flip it, and then I actually, by putting in that extra bit of effort, it's amazing. And that's what has got me ahead, is that always being like, I'll do one more hour. Yeah. I just know something will come, and work one bit harder than the next person. Unless it's not meant to be, you'll make it. Yeah. And if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, and that's okay as well. Yeah. I need your perfect Australian food day. Usually our Sydney food day, but okay. I haven't lived here for 10 years, so a lot has changed. But half my family. So I need somewhere for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a bar. Okay. I would start at my favourite place in Melbourne for breakfast. I want to do Melbourne because that's where most of my friends and family live. I'm starting at a place called Elios. Yep. I think it's on Flinders Lane. It's only been there a year or two, but it's like a beautiful diner vibe. Yep. I go there for breakfast. They do these amazing German-style pancakes. They're like a weird chicken pancake. Then I'm going for lunch. I'm probably going to Pellegrini's, RIP, the big man who sadly lost his life, but an absolute institution in Australia. Yep. And then for dinner, my grandparents always used to take me to a place called Thierry's, Cafe Thierry's. Okay. I think it's called that. French bistro, Thierry's. I haven't been in a while, but that was always my favourite place to go with them. And then favourite bar? Francois. Oh, Francois, I love Francois. Francois, that's the one. Thierry was the one that they took me to. Francois is great, even like late night. Is Francois well known? Yeah. It is well known, yeah. I grew up going there with my grandparents. They lived in Turak, and they'd take me around. And it's just on Turak Road. Yeah, they lived on the corner, so that's for me. And then with a bar, I left Australia before I started drinking. So for me, a bar, anywhere on like, I'd probably go somewhere like on Ackland Street. I grew up in like in St Kilda. I grew up around there, Elwood, so I'd go back to there and like just walk along the Esplanadas, listen to some Paul Kelly. Yeah. I get nostalgic with Australia because it's all in my past, really. So, You're La Dolce Vita, so if you could live anywhere in the world, it doesn't matter about money, it doesn't matter about work. If I had the money and I could really live anywhere, I'd live in Paris. I don't think there's any city like Paris is when it's good. In my top 3 favourite cities, definitely. Yeah. I know it has its faults. A lot of people don't like it, but when it's good, and if you've got money, it's a museum. Yeah. It's just the food, the vibe, everything, and football. Yeah. If you could have coffee with anyone in the world, you've got me today. But if you had coffee with anyone in the world, who would it be? If I could have coffee with anyone in the world, you know who I really find inspiring? Tyler, the Creator. Okay. I think he's just an amazing guy who just remakes his identity every few years. Incredible artist. He's so. I think he's brilliant. Yeah. So probably Tyler. I'd love to hear his journey. Yeah. No, I like that. And then last one, who should I interview on Coffee with Cogs next? Santo from Santo Salmon Head. Okay. Santo Chilari. Yeah, do the show. Yeah. Loves his football. Yeah. AFL fan as well. He's Melbourne. People don't actually realise how much he's behind Australian TV. He's been not just being part of shows, making shows since the 90s, 80s maybe. Loves his football. He's got stories of when Juve used to travel. Have you heard about his stories? No. He was the translator for Juve back in the 90s and 80s maybe for the players. As a teenager, you've got to speak to him.
I like that.
He came up with Thank God You're Here.
Yep.
Have You Been Paying Attention? And
Yep.
of course, one of the greatest things ever made is Santo, Sam and Ed from the 2010 World
funny,
Cup.
yeah.
They need to bring it back. I think Santo, two Italian wogs talking
like it,
soccer,
bro.
I think it'd be great. So,
I like it. Thank you so much for me, mate.
Man,
for-
pleasure.
for
I love what
this
you're doing.
and,
I think it's great. And,
we got through a bit, but I feel like there has to be an episode 2 somewhere.
yeah, I would love it, man. I love chatting. Sorry for talking so long.
No,
We're
I
talking
love
about
it.
football in Australia. It's going to happen.
I love it, bro. Thanks so much.
My pleasure.